Hi, I am playtesting Humanity Echo on behalf of We Playtest Games. This is my very first time opening up the game, so you'll be able to see my actual first impressions. A little bit about me: I am a fan of futuristic kind of cyberpunk genre. RPGs I do like to play, but it's not typically my first choice when I'm searching for games. So that's the kind of perspective that you'll be getting with this playtest. The first thing I notice is that this title screen is fairly inviting. I like that there's sunlight and a lot of grass. It's actually a little bit surprising to me because usually when you think of cyberpunk, you think of darkness and um, big cities and things like that. So it's actually making me more curious about the game. It's making me want to play it more. The music is pretty good. I like it. It's futuristic but also relaxing. So overall, it's a pretty calm and relaxing vibe. Um, Title looks good. Everything seems to look good. So I'm pretty excited to get started looking at this title screen. Okay, interesting. So this is a lot closer to what I imagined with Cyberpunk, right? Very different from the title screen. New viruses, okay. So I think there was some disclosure on the Steam page that there's AI generated assets and that these would be replaced in the final version. Um, I am definitely noticing the AI aspect of it right now. I apologize if I'm wrong, but this definitely feels like AI, um, which of course is kind of off-putting. So it's good that you all are planning on replacing that. Um, One kind of impression I'm getting so far, it's nice that you're giving this backstory. It feels like it's moving kind of fast in terms of okay, we were fighting the viruses, then the corporations take over, then all of a sudden the corporations are gone. Um, did the inhabitants win? It's a little confusing. Okay, so the cities are rebuilt. Corporations are regaining strength. Okay. Okay. Corporations are regaining strength. So, yeah, I think the questions that are going through my mind right now, as the first time reading all of this, is um, who is the enemy really? Like, what will the gameplay look like? I'm curious about whether the corporations are the main bad guys, or is it the viruses? Is that gonna come into play? Um, maybe maybe it's because it's a lot of text. You gave I think you provided a lot of story in just a few slides, and I didn't. I guess it's a little. It might be a little bit much, but I'm sure I'll learn more as I continue through this playthrough. So, um, oh, okay. All right. So, first thing I noticed is these avatars, pretty cool looking. You've got male and female, different ethnicities. Enter your cyber name, very attractive. I immediately want to type something in. I like the icons. They're really bright, punchy. Makes me want to click things. So I think the visual design is great so far. Okay, not. All right, so I'll pick someone. Oh, interesting. Okay, well, I don't know what any of this really does in the game. Of course, it's my first time, so I'll just pick... I'll just pick this one. Okay, interesting backstory here. Neon Alley. So now I'm wondering, like, with these tips that come out, will I be able to explore Neon Alley? Will I be able to buy these things? Still very curious about what the game will actually look like. My initial impression is this looks a lot like Cyberpunk 2077, right? The setup of the apartment. Not a bad thing. Okay. Okay, unpack supplies. Engineering Okay, I couldn't really read the full thing. I think it said engineering tablet, but I only got to see the middle part. Answer the call. Alright, very easy to see where the call is. Okay. So your brother's a police officer, it looks like. Okay. Meet Simon at the pub. Interesting map. Okay. And to leave, I just click depart. Off I go. I like the music. It's kind of jazzy. Alright, we'll go in. Okay. I don't know if that was supposed to be funny, but that was funny. Explosives up his ass. Okay. No way. Alright. Okay, so has my attention so far. The bats. So now I'm curious about who those are. Code Red in Sector 10. Civil psychosis. Now I'm curious about what that is. Okay. Hackers unleashed a new virus. So now my brain is just a little bit stuck on... I assumed viruses were biological viruses, but it sounds like it's more of a technological, like a computer virus, because hackers are unleashing it. People are losing their minds right now. Okay. Oh, okay. Nice. I like how quickly it gets into the action. That was a good start. So let's see what happens here. It's gonna get loud. Blue zone is the range. White zone is sprint. Okay. Okay. So I want to be able to shoot back, so I'm gonna move here. Okay. That looks like their health. I'm guessing the percentage is the chance I have of hitting them. Alright. And then... do I click? Oh, okay. Click on them. Okay. I guess... next turn now. I have 1 AP. Got him. Okay. Not bad. Still learning the ropes. Okay. Interesting. A lot of items here. Tap screen to continue is interesting. I wonder if this was once a mobile game. Okay. Alright, get some sleep is what I have to do. So... system failure imminent. Am I a robot? I like that there's an exclamation point telling me where I need to click. That's really helpful. Okay. Okay, so I'm here at the food court, and the background hasn't loaded, so I think that might be a bug. Okay, so this seems like... Okay, I just clicked randomly and this came up. But... Okay. Okay, this animation's kind of taken a while. Okay, these are instructions, right? I thought that this was your character automatically paying, so I was waiting. So it took me a second to... Okay. Yeah, that wasn't super obvious. Okay. Yeah, the story's moving a little bit quickly because first you were helping out your police officer brother, and then all of a sudden you're gonna... It sounds like you're gonna do some terrorism or something, so the story's moving a little fast. But not totally a bad thing. Okay, Johan. Hmm. Okay. Okay, so I think I'm supposed to click here. Yes. Yeah, there's a lot of concepts being thrown here, like the demon and the diagnostics and the sniffer, which, if you're already familiar with the cyberpunk genre, I think you have a sense of what those are. But if someone is playing this for the first time and doesn't have any sort of background knowledge, I think these things would probably need to be explained. Again, the story is moving pretty quickly. Okay. Um, I'm thinking screwdriver because... Oh, okay. See, that's helpful. Now that I know what that is. Okay. And then... Goes here somewhere? Oh. Whoops. What's going on? The stack. Okay. Don't know who that is yet. Barely know what prospect is at this point. Oh, I don't get to fight them, huh? Okay. Okay, so right now, again, as the first time player, what I'm thinking is there's nothing unique that jumps out about the story so far. I'm still waiting to see what's happening. Because it's a lot of generalities, right? I'm resisting the corporation. We haven't really gotten much detail on what the corporations have done. I know there's that one thing in the intro. Okay, so what am I supposed to be doing next? Call Simon. Okay. Okay, now we're getting into net runners and things like that. I think the main thing about the story is I'm not totally sure why I'm doing any of this. I don't know who I am. Um, I I don't I don't have context for much of what's going on. Yeah, see, they're making these jokes that are almost like inside jokes, like swapping nuclear codes on the way there. But I have no context for this. I don't know what has happened. I don't know who I am. Um, I I don't feel any personal, like as the player. I don't feel anything toward Prospect because I still don't have a clear idea of what they've done. I know from a single slide in the very beginning that they enslaved people, and then we beat them. So are the corporations still powerful? Because it sounds like they're still really scary, but I thought that the rebellion had destroyed them. Like, why would I need to be a ghost in the eyes of a corporation that was already overthrown? You know? Uh, I think it would really help if I was shown this rather than just told it. I'm still, like, having trouble caring. Why is this? Is your character a loner that just doesn't like anyone else? I didn't really see anything to suggest that so far. Another mission to go home and rest is an interesting choice. Okay. Gonna call. Since when am I popular? I like the humor, at least, whenever it comes up. Who are the Cyber Knights? Are they another corporation? Kane, your police officer brother's word carries weight. I'm... Killed my father. Okay. Is that one of those knights? Are the knights about to fight the corporation? Is that... Who is fighting who right now? Is this Prospect fighting the knights? I don't understand why. Oh, I should have gone to cover. Corporate recruit. Okay, so Prospect is fighting the knights. I would love to be able to skip this part, because I don't really care what the others are doing. Don't get flanked. Secure the area or set an ambush before new squads hit the grid. So that's cover. Yeah, I'm just waiting for this to end so I can play. Is that it? That's my whole turn, okay. Yeah, I'm spending a lot more time waiting than actually playing. Oh, I'm dead. Oh, that was part of the story. Okay. Forcing me to lose was kind of unpleasant. Because that's only the second time or so that I've actually played an action sequence. So I'm forming my opinions of how the actual action sequences are supposed to be. And the first time was a tutorial, and the second time I lost right away, so... Who? Okay. I barely know Nami. Like, as a player. Who is this? Okay. So, my 30 minutes are just about up. I'll give my overall opinion of this game just off the top of my head right now, just fresh from playing it. I think the I think it's fairly well made in terms of not many bugs other than when I went to the court and the background was gone. It's pretty easy to follow what you're supposed to be doing because there's always that exclamation point. I appreciate that. So that's part of it is pretty well done. Obviously, you've got a lot of AI art and things like that. It's pretty obvious. So if you're planning on replacing that, that's great. The action sequences are boring at this point. Just from my point of view, because first of all, there weren't that many, and second of all, you spend a lot of time waiting, right? Whether it's waiting for the enemies to fight each other, or it's you instantly running out of action points. There's a lot of just waiting for things to happen, so it's not really all that exciting from my point of view. Now, I understand that RPGs are more story-driven, right? So I'll talk about the story next. Obviously, I'm not an expert or anything like that in storytelling. I'm just a regular player. But the story wasn't that interesting to me for several reasons. First of all, it didn't seem like there was anything new going on. It's your classic, we're fighting against the corporations. They're just generically evil, they killed my dad and they enslaved the population. What specifically did they do? Like, were there any events that really sear in your mind? I don't know, the story just seemed pretty common, and it moved very quickly in the game. So, for example, different phrases, different vocabulary was thrown at the player right away. Like, let's put a sniffer, let's do this and that. You might lose a lot of players that way because they won't know what's going on. And emotionally speaking, and just everything else, the story moved very quickly. All of a sudden, the player really hates these corporations. He and that redheaded girl have something going on. Your brother is super trustworthy somehow. Like, his word carries a lot of weight. The Grey Knights or the Metal Knights are introduced. And then all of a sudden, they're also fighting the corporation for an unclear reason. I guess ultimately the story just feels pretty difficult to follow. It assumes that the player knows a lot more than they would actually know going into the game. So that's my kind of overall assessment. I know it's difficult. Stories are stories, right? There's no objectively better or worse story. But again, just to summarize, I think the game itself is fairly well made. It's easy to follow. The buttons are good looking. That sort of stuff is good. The action sequences are kind of dull. Not much is going on. There's a lot of waiting, and the story moves too quickly. I'm just not that interested in what's going to happen next. Without knowing the rest of the game, of course, my assumption is that it's going to be just like any other Cyberpunk game, right? Where you dismantle them from the inside somehow, or I don't know. Yeah. So I don't think I would continue playing this, personally speaking, just because nothing really hooked me at the beginning. In the first 30 minutes, right? That's what players would experience. And, not to mention, there's a lot of sequences where you just go home. And that takes time. It's more waiting, right? It's more waiting, nothing's going on, and it's still in my first 30 minutes of playing. So, okay, I'm going all the way back, I'm going to my bed, I'm clicking through, I'm calling. All right, now we're going to get more dialogue, but it's more confusing dialogue. So, but I see the promise here. I like the environment that's been built. I like the music. I like the environments. But the story needs to be more fleshed out, I think, especially in the first 30 minutes. And the action sequences probably need to move faster, or give the player more things to do, I guess, is my suggestion. But best of luck with the rest of your development. Thank you for allowing me to playtest this. I can't wait to see how this evolves over time. It's clear that you all put in quite a bit of work into this, and you should be proud of what you've accomplished so far. And that's about it. All right. Thank you.